Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. I just thought I'd rant free spirit here today, live. Just talking about the fact that Biden's out. And is that good or bad for Donald Trump? Listen, I have no doubt that whoever they put in is going to get a short bump from getting rid of Joe Biden. That's going to help the Democrats. And I think people are going to overlook the fact that they completely turned on their own people. And the Democrats do that all the time. They eat their young. And it's a devastating thing to see. Now, uh, one of the things that I really are going to despise about them if they pick Kamala Harris, one, she's not qualified to be president. I did a live on Black Man Unfiltered Network a couple of weeks ago about whether black women, and I specifically said black women, are fit to be president in their current state of mind. And then I went down the litany of sisters who gained high office and high positions and fumbled the bag. I'm talking about recently, since maybe the last 6 or 7 years. Mayors, judges, I'm saying AGs, just fumbling the bag all over the place. Some even going to prison. And Kamala Harris did a horrible job as the AG out in California, especially when it came to minorities and her heavy-handedness on some of the most menial things. And then the crime lab, the fact that she is implicated in withholding evidence that might have sent a man to the death penalty. I mean, just so many things that make her unfit for the presidency. However, black people being such as they are, I can see black women voting for her in mass, not because she's good, it's just because she's a black woman. And that's the dangers of the way we vote as black people. I hope that black men instead will stick to their guns, stick to their principles, and realize that just because her skin is black, that doesn't do us any favors. 8 years of Obama should have gave all of us all the evidence we need that black faces in high places don't mean shit to us. Look at Eric Adams. Look at Brandon Johnson. They pretty much have sold their souls to the devil and sold out every black constituent who voted for them. So all I'm just trying to say is we got to understand that we need a change. We need to break the demonic hold of the Democrats have on black people and black voters. And the fact that Biden's out, I think that in the short run, there's going to be a little hiccup in the Trump momentum because he was going to trounce Biden, and rightfully so. Biden, let me tell you, and for all of the uninitiated out there, Biden Biden is more racist against black people than Trump ever has been. And every time I put that up to people, they sit back and give me some bullshit stare like they don't understand. It was Biden who completely annihilated Anita Hill in the well of the Senate. And he directly led the door open to put Clarence Thomas, one of the worst justices, into the Supreme Court, onto the Supreme Court. And here's one of the things about black people. I remember all the black folks screaming, how come we can't get a black justice? And so what they did was give you Clarence Thomas. And just because his skin was black, nobody cared about what his policies were, what his ideology was, that his wife became the head of the Tea Party, one of the most racist conservative movements ever to take any bit of power. And it wasn't that long they had it, but in the halls of government. And this guy is the guy that black people wanted. And when they got him, they said, oh shit, man, we messed up. Look who we put as president. You know what I'm saying? So I just say, listen, so we got to stop voting for people because they look like us, and that's a huge mistake. And that's the programming that the Democrats have black people under. They could, they're going to sell you a bill of goods. We're going to give you handouts. We're going to keep the gravy train going. And all the while, they're replacing you with jobs. They're giving illegal immigrants money, jobs. They're giving them places to stay. They're putting them in your neighborhood and refurbishing the buildings that you couldn't even get them to look at. So listen, and this whole narrative that Donald Trump is going to do this to the country and he's going to, let me tell you, we already have 4 years of Donald Trump. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, he probably would have got elected again. If it wasn't for the pandemic, he probably would, that was his downfall. But it was a downfall for many politicians. Nobody managed the pandemic well, except maybe some of the guys, the governors in the red states, who stayed open and who said, listen, whether we close or open, we still got to keep living. People still have to keep making money. And people have to, take their own chances, because that's what really life is all about. So, hey, listen, I'm just saying I wasn't going to be long with this. I just wanted to say my piece. I think they're going to find all kinds of way to act like they're looking for more than one candidate, but it's going to be Kamala Harris. And I had an ongoing conversation with a family member and this was 8 months ago, really. I said, listen, no way Biden's going to make it to the election. And I said, well, I don't think he's going to pass away. It's just that he's going to decline so bad that he is not going to make it to the election. And you know what? Lo and behold, I'm right. I am absolutely right. And maybe I can't pat myself on the back because anybody could see that train wreck coming. But, and then after all these people started coming against him, he finally understood that he can just go out into the past and enjoy what's left of your life, my man. You grifted everybody for a lifetime. And so, what more is there to do? So next is Maxine Waters. Her ass should go. Pelosi's ass should go. The dude in the Senate who was brain freezing, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, he should go. Everybody over 70, we should just go. And let some of the young folks, who have brighter ideas start to take over. Now, in the Democrat side, unfortunately, the young folks sound as ridiculous as the old folks. They're more radical. Anything goes, right? Parents are losing control of their children. They can't even say it and kill. The children have right to go through gender affirming care in California without the consent of the parents. It's crazy. And dig this. But if they miss school for 10% of the time, based on Kamala Harris's ruling, you could put the parent in jail, right? As long as you don't ask them what their gender is. I mean, that's how stupid they are, right? The Rainbow Mafia has gone much and way too far, and it's too deep in our politics. All our coin is going to war. The Ukraine war is pretty much lost. They're just sacrificing bodies out there, while Zelensky is getting richer and richer and richer and richer and richer, and his people are just dying. There's no way they're going to win that. And you know what? And the first president to think we're going to put any of our troops in harm's way, should be impeached immediately. The same thing goes for Gaza. We better not put one soldier in harm's way there, because we shouldn't be a part of that either. We should. Where's our peace dividend? Now, I'm not saying Trump will be any better with that, except that I know we wouldn't be in these frivolous wars that we're in, and I know his trade deals would be much better. I know he would stop the illegal immigration. I'm all for that. It's just a matter of time before the illegals start their own operations right here in America, and it might already be too late. And we're not just talking about folks from South America, so it's not a Latin thing. I mean, they got nationals from China, male-aged men from China all over the United States. People don't even know where they are, right? China is supposed to be one of our arch enemies. These guys are undocumented all over the United States. Not that some of them are going to be nefarious. Some of them are just looking for a better life. I mean, we got people from Eastern European, everywhere that you say, how did the hell you get from where you were to the southern border? Who's helping these people do that? And so there's a whole cabal of things going on, and there's some leadership making that happen. Then I saw a news report that there's just untold amount of children missing. Just missing. And they had a place where children were going. They found out the guy or gal or the people running the place was abusing the kids. So, I mean, we need we need a new government that could put a halt to this, give us our military back, and give us, get rid of DEI for DEI's sake, right? If you have to look for candidates out, for diverse candidates, they have to at least be more qualified or as qualified as anybody else, and that with a proven track record that they are. Right. So when you do that, based on simple meritocracy, you will have a mix of people. The debacle of what the Secret Service did when they tried to assassinate Trump. Oh, man, for heaven's sakes, it's all over the news. Nobody can rest now because we can see that wasn't completely on the up and up. Right. Or it didn't look like it's on the up and up. And when the leader, the director of the Secret Service said we didn't put a guy on the roof because the roof was sloped, that is something that a woman would say. A most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. But it's okay for the sniper, but it's not okay to protect that roof. How does she still have a job? So that gets us back. Trump it's going to be a little perturbation while the Democrats try to shoehorn Kamala in to as the candidate, because they have to really reconcile that with all the delegates who gave all of their votes to Biden. They might not necessarily that easy want to give them to Kamala Harris. Black women, they're going to vote for Kamala Harris because they always vote for the most debaucherous and with their feelings and all that horse shit all the time. I'm going to say it. That's what they're going to do. So 90% of them are going to just vote for Kamala Harris, the chameleon, who's only black when it's convenient. And when somebody asks her if she's Asian, they're going to do that. But black men, it's up to us to make sure that the Democrats lose every swing state. And if that means we got to get our vote down to 30% or 20% for the Democrats, that's where it got to go. They got to lose. And then Trump is only going to be the beneficiary, but I'm not focusing on him per se. But we just got to break our undying allegiance to the demons of the Democratic Party. That's what we have to do. If we do just that, and even if they still win, but our numbers are lower and lower and lower, where we start to assess who's the best president for us, you know what I'm saying? Who's the best kind of candidate for us? That's what we need to do. And it can't just be one party. It just can't be. We got to, we have this terrible system of two parties, but you know what? It might not always be the same. At some point, a third party will emerge, and we should be at the forefront of the not black women, by the way. Black men should be leaders of that third party, leaders of a party, and not just for black people, for those middle class Americans who still have morals left, who still want to raise families, who still want to say, lower their taxes, who still want smaller government, who want to get a peace dividend instead of war and sending their 18-year-old sons to die for some assholes in the White House or in the Pentagon. We want to We actually need a sea change in how we are governed. And if that means that we got to vote all the incumbents out of office and try to find some people who are more conservative minded, we have to do that. And it doesn't matter if some folks say, you know what, Roe v. Wade this and Roe v. Wade is gone, right? There's compromises for, baby deletions and stuff like that that need to be had. And even in the red states, but it's not, it's gone. It's not coming back. So what's next? Okay, protect prescription drugs. Protect, the life of the mother. Incest, give an exception for that. Give an exception for, assault. There's some really clear exceptions you could make that should be the compromise position for both blue people and red people. So this undying loyalty to the Democrats have to stop. And just because Biden is out, shouldn't bring you back to say if they put a black face in a high place, you should vote for her. You should not. Kamala Harris, she was supposed to be the border czar. Nobody's talking about the fact that she failed miserably. She did nothing. If she was working for you and you gave her an assignment to fix the borders, to watch the borders, to control immigration, and she performed the way she performed, she would have been fired years ago. Years ago. Nobody talks about that. Now, if she is actually the nominee, I would hammer that home in any debate. Any debate. You know why? Because it's all the blue state people getting hurt by this when they made their cities into sanctuary cities. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, the politics is heating up. November is a referendum for the country, right? And it's going to be split down. The future is going to be either liberalism, where anything goes, where no morality is in place, where religion is dead, where Christianity is under attack, all of that stuff, or conservative thinking, where, you know what, it's all right to tell women, you know what, close your fucking legs. You don't want to have a kid, then be more responsible for your womb. How about that? We know what men want. They're constant. You can predict what men want. A good man, bad man, any kind of men. You know what they want from you. Why give it up so freely? Why just be transactional and just having babies because of what? Especially so you could call a man a deadbeat the day after. He was a deadbeat the day before. So the bottom line is we need people to start talking like that. Hey, we don't want drag queens dancing and stripping in front of 3-year-olds or 8-year-olds or 12-year-olds or people under 18. We don't want gender affirming care for toddlers and we don't want the language that you assign the sex at birth. You are a sex at birth. You're either a male or a female at birth. That's what you are. You're not assigned a goddamn thing, right? God ordained what you are. Unless there's some kind of genetic imperfection, which can be measured, which is understandable. Those kind of mutations happen. They are the exception. They're not the rule. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't born with dysphoria. You're not. You're just not. It's a lie. So listen, we have a choice to make. Do we want to bring American soldiers back where there's pride in the uniform, pride in the country, pride in the leadership, and pride meaning pride, real pride, not in pride with a rainbow on it. Something to be proud of. That means country first, not your sexuality. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to that. We need to find a way to end the gender wars. and put more incentives in the tax code for marriage and for having children within wedlock. Put more incentives back in there. How about that? You know, make expand the covenant marriage laws, fix paternity court laws, fix the child support laws, right? Fix all of that. You know, we only have a chance to do that if Republicans are in charge. We'll never have a chance to do that if Democrats are in charge. Get rid of alimony, right? You know, women are working now. They don't. A man shouldn't have to pay when a woman decides to divorce him at a 70-80% clip. Why should he pay her a goddamn thing? Anything. You want to leave? You're having an affair with another man? Why should you? You should be able to take my man's money, his property, and everything else. Those were draconian laws that were put in 150 years ago. They need to change. So anyway, that's my rant for the night. I'm I'm over, but I'm gonna go see the Game of Thrones. It's heating up. Biden is out. You know, it's gonna be a whole bunch of boring talk about it. Yeah. You know what? But I'm here for it. It's gonna be interesting all the way up until November. Our pain, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out.